Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host, Advocate Tudo Hoyani. The Senzo Meyiwa saga, like I said this morning, goes on and on. Let us just take another angle. Let us go back to when, or just the period immediately after Senzo Meyiwa was shot. Immediately after Senzo Meyiwa was shot, he was rushed to hospital. You'll recall that some policemen landed there, among them one Musia. Musia is supposed to be a forensic investigator or something like that. But his work leaves much to be desired. Anyway, the police got there. When they got there, they heard that Senzo had been rushed to hospital. They also followed the crowd and went to the hospital and left the scene unattended. I've already indicated that this in itself, is so unprofessional on the part of the police. You cannot leave a crime scene unattended and run the risk of having it contaminated or being disturbed. Now, let me get to the real business of the day today. What I want to tell you this evening is this. When a crime has occurred, the first thing that the police must do is to secure that crime scene. Once the crime scene is secured, in other words, there are no, foreign or people just walking in and out of the scene. Once it has been protected, the next procedure in the investigation should be the focus on the people who were in the house. These were the people closest to Senzo at the time when he was killed. So in a criminal investigation of this matter, they become the first suspects. This does not seem to have happened in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. I mean, in the Senzo Meyiwa investigation, rather. You see the police focusing away from the people who were in the house. And if you focus away from the people in the house, it means you are ruling them out as suspects in the matter of Senzo Meyiwa, in spite of the fact that they were the last people to have seen him alive. Now, having, in a proper investigation that is, having identified the people in the house as the prime suspects or the first people of interest, you then have to establish a motive. Every crime has got a motive. If a thief breaks into your car, it means there's some property that is interested in your car. Every crime has a motive. Now the question, the starting point would then have been, who had an interest or who wanted to see Senzo dead? Among the people in the house. Among the people in the house. Because these so-called intruders have got no connection whatsoever with Senzo. They never knew Senzo. They probably knew Senzo as much as I and you knew Senzo as a football star. That is all. I don't think they had any connection with Senzo. They had any grudges with Senzo. They never interacted with Senzo at any given time in their lives. Now, having established the motive, you then have to ask yourself, who of the people in the house would have wanted Senzo dead? Now, we all know that, in the run-up to Senzo's death, or in the period leading up to his death, there was a lot of tension between Manda, Senzo's wife, and Kelly Kumalo. In fact, they are reported to have clashed at a mall somewhere and actually fought. So there was this tug of war between Manda, who was the lawful wife of Senzo, and the girlfriend, Kelly Kumalo. So who of the people in the house would you say had an interest to see Senzo dead? Was it a question of, if I can't have him, well, you are not going to have him, so we are both going to lose him? Because we also know for a fact that in the period leading up to Senzo's death, Senzo had sort of made up his mind to go back to Manda. And Manda was aware of this. That creates a motive. That is our motive. That is where the police should have started. Now, for the police to rule out everybody in the house, including Kelly Kumalo, is despicable, to say the least. Because at the end of the day, there is this narrative now that says Kelly Kumalo was a mastermind. And she was probably the only person in that house on that evening who could have had a motive to have Senzo killed. Now, the theory is, here comes the theory now. The theory that we have, and the police are aware of this, is that Mandisa was the mastermind. She must have had this grudge with Senzo and told herself that, well, if I cannot have Senzo, Mandisa is not going to have him either. So there you have it. But some of these things were totally ignored in this investigation. And the investigation just chose to ignore all the many people in the house. Nothing was ever said about that contaminated crime scene. So this is where we are now, and we are having all these, complications around the Senzo Meyiwa trial. But these things must be unraveled. These things must be unraveled. The police must be exposed. Whoever was involved in, this shoddy police work or deliberate and unprofessional conduct on the part of the police must surely be, pointed out and shamed for it. Because Senzo, like I always say, Senzo never died in vain. So we have a motive in every investigation. In every crime, there must be a motive. I have the motive here. What do you think? Tell me what you think. And let me round up today's episode by saying I'm very encouraged by the number of views and the subscriptions that are coming in. Please, like I always say, support this initiative and kindly subscribe. See you in the next episode. Bye.